Thank you for joining us.
Thanks.
What brings you to Global Offshore 2016?
We've been involved, Offshore Marine has been very much involved in the UK market. It's very much the forefront of the UK market and exhibition and also networking. So Offshore Marine is a UK-based company that have been here for 13 years. So it's important to be at these and to support the renewable UK's forums.
What do you specialise in?
We specialise in subsea cables and offshore support work. So we started back on the first wind farms in the UK. We've taken our experience to the German market and further afield into the USA and into the French markets. Our specialty is offshore provision of services around the cable, more subsea side and moving into the topside O&M work.
And how's the industry developed over those 13 years?
It's been a very interesting 13 years, close to 16. It's developed a long way, the size of the projects, the technology, the regulatory sort of forums that we're working with, the cultural differences that we must face in working in the German sector. But I think the size is the major thing, both commercially, financially and technology within some of the things we're starting to do. We started off with barges and now we're using 110 metre vessels from the oil and gas sector to do our work.
Where do you think this is all going to go?
That is a big question in relation to where the industry will sit in 5 or 6 years' time. It depends on who you're talking to. I still believe that the industry will grow, the size of the projects, although the size of the projects will have its challenges, both from an environmental point of view and financial point of view. It has to grow. The round 3 wind farms, although a financial challenge, technically and from an experience point of view, we're ready to meet that the challenge of the offshore environment. Germany is growing and coming online. You've got the French market with its challenges and of course the USA market, not to mention the Asia market in China, Korea, that will come online as well. So I think, if you are thinking big, then this is the right industry to be in.
So you're suggesting that the industry has the experience already, it's just a matter of evolving that to cater for the newer, bigger wind farms?
I think that we do have the experience. The UK market's been here the longest, outside of sort of the Danish market, but they don't have the size that the UK market does. We're taking that experience and we're exporting it as a commodity, and I believe that what we've learnt over the last 13 years in the way we operate, how we get efficiency, how we squeeze efficiency out of this environment, although challenging, I believe that we're ready to take the next step. Commercially, financially, there are bigger steps. There are big steps within the market. When I started the industry, there was £140 million projects, and now they're 2.2 billion per project. So there are a lot of challenges around that, the size of the equipment. But I think from an offshore point of view, the experience both within design, install and O&M to squeeze the money out for the financiers of the industry are going to be important.
What about the growing trend towards framework agreements? Is that something that you think is a good step?
I believe it is. I do believe that the framework agreements are a good step. It builds confidence into the supply chain. Of course, if you don't win the framework agreements, you'll probably have a different opinion. The framework agreements do allow you to have a look at your planning and your resourcing in a way that you're more able to look at your models of financing and working to try and look at the efficiencies to push that cost down. And that's the big thing at the moment, Matt, which is cost efficiency. Frameworks do that. And moving away from a spot market point of view where it does cost a lot to get a project or a contractor onto that project. I think that there is synergies there that do work within that.
So what are the next steps for you guys?
Next steps continue. There is a sort of a space in the market at the moment as we prepare for the next round. Offshore Marine will continue to support the projects over the next 3 to 5 years, and I believe that 17, 18, 19 are going to be very good years for the industry. Offshore Marine supports itself both in the engineering and also the installation side. But I think for us, the O&M sector is going to be quite interesting in relation to that experience. You know, the skill set for installation and operation and maintenance are completely different, and the models are different, and I think that the efficiencies will be driven into there. And I think for offshore marine management, that's where our skill set will next go as we learn how to maintain and operate these in a cost-effective way.
What does the future hold?
The future, it's going to get bigger, it's going to get wetter, it's going to be more enjoyable. It's going to have its challenges, the size of the cables, the size of the subsea work, the size of the wind farms. How do we get people offshore safely? How do we get them back safely? There's going to be some big challenges for us, but we're here and we're ready to make that commitment to the industry and to see where we can make an important stand around the world.
Rob, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Matt.